I'm going to talk about gender bias in language, and you're probably going to hear something that you've never heard before. There's people who talk about gender bias, and their theory is that the English language is gender biased, and if you remove the gender bias from the language, then sexism will end in countries like the United States or English-speaking countries. So they believe that sexism is rooted in language. They are absolutely incorrect, and I'm going to explain to you why. There are many different languages. It could be thousands of languages in the world. Some of them do not have gender in the language. Some of them have gender in the language similar to English, pronouns, and some of them have gender in the language, in Latin languages, for example, with nouns. For an object like a computer or a motorcycle or a table, etc., has a gender. It could be male or female. You know, la table or el table. Okay? Il in Italian, la is the feminine for French. El, I don't remember Spanish. Lo might be the other one in Spanish. And just because a word is feminine in, like motorcycle might be feminine in Spanish but masculine in French. So that's not common in English, even though you'll hear people say, oh, the car, she's a beauty, but the word car itself doesn't have a gender. The pronoun does. In some languages, they will put the noun will have a feminine or male pronoun, but the noun itself will also be feminine or male. They have male words, and it's decided by language, not by the person speaking. In English, you could call a car a he if you wanted to. So in Chinese, they don't use gender as much in the language, things like he and she, as the way that English does. There's a pronoun, people are completely unaware of this, the word one, or a person, okay? So you say he might go to the store, she might go to the store, one might go to the store, and no one ever uses it, but it is a gender-neutral pronoun that exists in the English language. Might not be, and he, she, and it, but we use it for objects. It is not used for a person. So there might be a word. Actually, no, you can use one. So you say he goes, she goes, one goes to the store. So the word one is actually the gender-neutral pronoun in English. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, I've met women. I lived in New York City. There were lots of liberal women. I met tons of liberal women. And they would tell me that this nonsense that there's sexism rooted in the English language. And it's nonsense. It's not true. Now, the other thing that they would tell me is that Asians are sexist. This is what they believe. The women that I met in the United States, and I lived in the United States most of my life, believe that Hispanic men are sexist. They believe that Arab men are sexist. They believe that Asian men are sexist. They believe this. So the Latinos who use more gender language, gender nouns, they consider to be sexist, and the Asians who use less than English, they consider to be sexist. How can they say that sexism is rooted in language? It's not. It's just not true. There's a movement to remove gender from the English language. It's going to fail. It's not going to have the results that these people think that they're going to have. It's going to completely fail. And then 30 years from now, when people succeed at making that change in the media, they're going to say, how come sexism didn't go away? It's not going to work. It's nonsense. And there's no reason to do it. And I'm certainly not going to change my habits. I'm not going to say, if a person goes to the store, she might. I'm not going to say that. I don't feel comfortable saying it. I don't want to say it. And when women say it, I don't care. It really doesn't bother me. You know, it's part of life is really not being stressed out about what other people do. It's a person's civil liberty to speak the words that he chooses. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, please post below.